here in the top left hand corner. Playing for Goodgame Gaming, spawning as the red Protoss. Let's give it up for CYAN. He's a little bit too close to the screen. Can't see the screen properly. Okay, it's better now. I'm sorry. Here in the bottom right hand corner instead, playing for Dragon Phoenix Gaming. Let's see if he manages to advance to the finals. It's Cure. Of course, the favorite coming into this match. That is not saying much, of course. There's a lot you can expect out of these two players. It's not always as easy as saying, yeah, like, Cure is going to win, come on. No, it doesn't work like that. Especially in weekly tournaments, I feel, where stakes are not as high. Of course, there's still a lot of money on the line. You don't really want to give up that. But it feels also like it's the best possible moment to actually train your skills in a real competitive environment, which is not scrims or things such as that. So hone your claws against a real opponent and see what works better for you. As for now, nothing surprising. We have our reactor over here. The only thing that can shift for Cure right now will be a third command center before the starport. Or even a second Rex, but like, you usually go second Rex before this moment. We have a Robo incoming from CYAN. One of the last bastions of Robo openers. Because I like this Sin City a lot, by the way. This pattern is way too important, but like, it's very hard to traverse with aliens into this base, so I do like this, especially with the Moonlands being a very small natural base. A map, sorry. Let's entry first for CYAN as well. Well, a second, sorry, after the Stalker. And then a second gateway. Gonna be interesting to see what this robot will bring us. For now, the single Stalker will of course trade very efficiently into whatever it finds. Stalker's amazing units in the early game, in this particular matchup. An Immortal incoming, not even a single Observer. Straight up Immortal. You don't see Robo Bay. It's starting to become interesting. On the other side of the map, Cure going for a very by the book opener with a 1-on-1. Not really getting many Widow Mines out, just the one. Putting up a bunker to play a little bit more defensively. I'm probably just gonna walk around with this mine, not really gonna try to drop it. So I am getting 2 gateways on the wall. Widow Mine will get around the army of CYAN, who is now sending a Wood Prism out. Gonna be interesting, especially with this drop incoming. Things are about to go down. First thing being this pylon over here. You can see the Immortal being an absolute machine when it comes to destroying structures, and that bunker is no exception. On the other side of the map though, the Widow Mine gets its 6 kills. Over here it's gonna be a little bit more complicated for CYAN to trade as efficiently as he wanted. Especially with Marines dropping around in his base. He has a lot of Stalkers. You need to add those back home, which is not a good thing, especially with the Warp Prism. What's the Warp Prism? Warp Prism is making its way through the map, losing a pylon. Does hurt a little. You can see CYAN not really being that close to being supply blocked, but still a little ways around. The Observer will grant high ground vision, and he's Immortal will absolutely wreck through everything it finds. The SCVs will be pulled into the fight, and it's time now for the Warp Prism to help with the micro. Another turret or interference matrix can be used. Here comes the other turret. which looks like it's gonna be the priority. 8 SCVs are gonna go down, but CYAN's attack still has not stopped. The second Immortal is incoming, Twilight Council is incoming. There's not a lot of energy on these Raven. The tanks are gonna do... the tank, I should say, is gonna do its best to bring up a fight, but CYAN looks like he has found a major weakness in the game plan of Cure, and he's punishing him hard for this. CYAN takes game number 1 of the series in an amazing fashion. Is map number 2 of this best of 5 set here in the top left hand corner, leading the series. Heading from China, heading from Goodgame Gaming, it's CYAN. His opponent in the red, playing for Dragon Phoenix Gaming, looking for the equalizer. Can he find it here on Stargazers? It's Cure. Very early scouting probe, sent out immediately by CYAN, while Cure is gonna go ahead and get his Proxy Reaper opener. CYAN looking for it, as he has seen with his first probe out that the timing out of his opponent was a little bit odd with the first SCB, so he's now looking for this proxy around. As of now, not gonna find it. It's unfortunate. Probe still around, still looking for further scouting. Make no mistake, it's not gonna be a super aggressive build coming from Cure. This is very much just become the standard. Like, we've seen this build like so many times in the latest few events. DreamHack, Home Story Cup, GSL as well. This has kind of become the way for Terran players to put some pressure early on and just mind their own business for a little while longer. Having the Reaper hit a little bit earlier kind of balances the problem, being that, yeah, exactly, Protoss always has an adapt out for when the Reaper actually hits, and right now Protoss players only have the Zealots, so this Reaper is always getting something. It's not as easy as just dropping down Spore Crawlers and cancelling with Zerg, or just having your floor lanes chase the Reaper around. It's a little bit harder, and you can see 2 probes going down. It's a very normal price to pay. Cure still being as careful as possible, having his structures on the high ground, fearing that the early probe out of CYAN was hiding something else. This brings the total count of dead probes to 5, which is honestly a little bit too much. Stalkers were way off position, and Cure finds a way to find even more damage. Oh, actually, it's 6 total probes, right? Yeah, it is. That is significant. As a Protoss player, you often don't want to find yourself dead behind in workers early in the game, because you have Chrono Shift, so you can just produce more workers in the early game. You're always gonna have more workers than your opponent in early game, and that's why it's so important for both Zerg and Terran, I feel, to actually try and kill a couple probes in the earlier stages. Otherwise, the mid-game can become insanely difficult, but 6 probes? It's a tiny bit too much. Now the Hellion has joined the Reapers. We're looking to kill yet more probes. They're gonna find another. And another yet again. Reapers, one of them at least, is finally going down. A little bit of lost mining time due to the grenade. But that's it. The aggression out of Cure is finally over. And he's not really even getting Widow Mines out. Probably looking at a Cyclone over here. Oh, actually it's a tank. Not really what I was expecting for defense early on. I was more expecting a Cyclone right at this stage, especially with CYAN growing a little bit more desperate after losing a little bit more than he was envisioning. Widow Mines are over here, and they're not gonna get any, like, dream shots. The Stalkers are gonna make it a little bit harder, and both of the Widow Mines survive. It's gonna be a total of 2 deaths, bringing the count to, I think it's 10, which is crazy. Stalkers on the low ground are gonna make life a little bit complicated for Cure, who so far has had a smooth sailing early game. But of course, Cure is prepared for this, waiting for his second tank. He has a Raven out, just waiting for the right moment to bat back and gain control of the low ground. Does this Raven see this? Raven have a very long sight range, but they do not see this. It was close. Oh, the Raven is in real danger. Alright, alright. It will get out of harm's way. So will the probe. Dropping down a gateway over here. While more Stalkers are gonna be warped in. You're retaking control over here of his low ground with tanks especially. Firing shells from a mile away. Blink is down, but yeah, tanks are gonna make life so complicated for CYAN. You either commit or you do not. NGB is gonna be cancelled, so will the bunker. And Cure is gonna move a little bit more forward. Trying to at least see where his opponent is at. Leapfrogging his tanks even slightly more further. Maybe a risky play, especially Blink being available. CYAN setting up a concave and he will dive on top of these tanks. Resenting the count is more important than these Stalkers ever will be. And now they're gonna try and dive on the high ground, not even committing to those, to the Raven in the skies. They're just gonna get in, deny combo shields. Blink over here. Let's keep a close look at that Blink cooldown. It's about to get off. Get another Marine, get out. Widow Mines were able to get 3, I think it was Widow Mines at least. 3 more probes down. But right now, things are starting to even up. So many dead probes. 13 is a lot. But CYAN is kind of playing around with Cure. Finding damage left and right, left and right. These Marines are gonna steam forward, but without combo shields, they're not gonna be as bulky as CYAN, as Cure wants them to be. The Raven trying his best to chase things around. His Widow Mines trying to burrow before the Stalkers make short work of them. And here comes 3 more warp pins, and then 3 more, and then 3 more, and then 3 more. That's the play out of CYAN. The Stalker will not blink out of harm's way. And again, Stalkers are just sacrificing for no reason at all. Those Widow Mines have found more damage than they should have. Here comes the other turret. CYAN blinks out of harm's way. And will stay safe. Very good plays by CYAN in both Game 1 and Game 2, but right now Cure is stabilizing and it's becoming more and more complicated for CYAN to actually get something out of this. Doesn't really have a ton of gateways. He's establishing a decent economy, but he lost so much in the early game due to many probes dying that right now I don't really think he can afford this mass gateway style, which tends to become really weak at this stage in the game, precisely when all of the Rack Stack Lab upgrade kick in for the Terran player, and of course the first NG Bay upgrades start to kick in as well, alongside the third base being the next step for the Terran. That brings the game to be basically a production fest, with both of the players being able to produce so many units at once. Ooh, Medivac going down is pretty significant. Charge is about to be finished. 5 more gateways are gonna be turning into warp gates. CYAN kind of needs them right now. Guardian Shield gets activated. The anti-armor missile doesn't really hit the jackpot, but these zealots are not really enough to make Cure go away. Shield Body Overcharge gets activated. These Stalkers are all very bruised, and Cure is making short work of them. The concave is decent for CYAN, being able to keep Cure out of this ramp. The Widow Mines are not gonna be dodged that efficiently, with Zealots tanking so many shots and Stalkers tanking another couple. Cure not really that healthy right now in his army. Both players working with a very limited supply. And here not really finding a way around the defensive positioning that CYAN was able to lead up. But these reinforcements might be able to clean up the army of CYAN, moving a little bit too out of the way. With the shield batteries not being in range, not even remotely in range, shield battery overcharge being finished, much of the army of CYAN will be cleared by the reinforcements incoming by Cure. And I was talking about the production fest. Look at this. So many units are dying, it's a bloodbath. In the end, Cure will come out on top of this fight and probably will come out on top of this game. Don't really see a way of CYAN will be defending this. Defender's advantage, trying to do his best. This is a decent concave. The shield battery is not doing enough. GG gets gold and Cure will get the equalizer. Again, probe sent out immediately by CYAN. Tropical Sacrifice has a slightly longer rush distance than Stargazers. I think Tropical Sacrifice is I don't remember if it's one of the 36 seconds rush distance or 41. While Stargazer is a 31 seconds rush distance, which is, of course, pretty damn short. Nothing really to look at. CYAN will go with a Zealot first. Just to be a little bit safer. It does slow down your Nexus by a little bit. It does slow down your probe production by a little bit. It does slow down your second pattern by a little bit. But it's safe. And of course, if it doesn't come to Reapers trying to dance around your probes, you can always send it out, just as CYAN is doing right now, to try and maybe even delay the command center out of your opponent. CYAN will confirm the command center is on the low ground. The Reaper will confirm the kill onto the probe. And the Zealot will wait around in the fog of war, looking for his opportunity to strike at the natural. There's one Marine who's gonna be able to kite around a little bit. But probably it's gonna be more interesting to see what this Reaper is going to do. He's just gonna retreat back home. Marine is gonna cut backwards, and of course, this command center is gonna be slightly delayed. The Marine is able to keep the SCVs alive, but that's the most he can do. Well, not even that. Actually, 2 SCVs falling down, that's more than I was envisioning. And this command center is still going to be slowed down. The Reaper goes down. You're not really that great in this early game micro. I have to be honest with you. Both players always losing so much in the early game. This Stalker was about to go down as well. Second Stalker is chiming in. But the command center is finished. It's gonna be turning into an orbital command. Putting a little bit of damage onto this, mostly just to stop Cure from getting SCVs over here. But now there's enough Marines alongside an alien to actually shoo away these Stalkers. A third one was about to join, but yeah, it's impossible there's gonna be any more damage. Again, robotics facility. CYAN still looking to be the aggressor. Absolutely love how CYAN is approaching this series, always trying to be in the face of his opponent. Very, very interesting playstyle he's adopting to face his opponent, who has shown signs of weakness in the early stages of the game. That's a very good read out of CYAN on his opponent, which is bringing him quite some victories in small fights here and there, and of course the big win in game number 1. Here comes the usual with a mind drop. Of course, this is a transitioning stage of the game, which is super important to keep as many probes as possible alive, to avoid losing too much mining time. That's why we don't mind drop is so strong. It also gets a very good amount of scouting information. Seeing blink, of course, super big. If I said Robot Facility first, sorry. I was wrong, by the way. I wanted to say just is a natural transition out of blink, probably leading to Robo Bay. Close, but not close enough. The Widowmine and the Medivac will both escape with their lives. Charging coming, and CYAN is gonna be setting up another big attack. Of course, with the Blink Stalkers just being a big annoyance. Very easy to keep alive around, and of course, with an observer granting high ground vision, you can just blink in, snipe something, as you can see, and be super annoying. Raven wasn't really there to spot his observer going around in circles around the bases of Cure again, blinking into the main, again sniping an add-on. CYAN is finding damage and he's not really losing much for it. Did a single Stalker die? Yes, just one. While on the other side of the map, the Raven ready to drop down an auto turret. Yeah, you can see also the Widowmine still getting damage. Where's the Raven? Oh, here it is. Shield battery overcharged, not enough. Well, not shield battery overcharged, sorry, shield battery. Not enough to keep these probes alive. You can see actually another one falling down. 6 probes total. That's significant. The structure was killed over here. I don't really know what that was. I was just a supply depot. But yeah, both players finding damage. Of course, Cure finding some more significant damage. The observer is still granting high ground vision until it isn't. Cure dropping down the scan, making sure that it doesn't grant high ground vision anymore. CYAN needs to stay a little bit more careful around now. Still keeping his Stalkers on the map, still looking for something to snipe. You can see these hallucinated Phoenix will find the Raven, and CYAN will be a little bit more careful around that too. Oh, Godwis bends down a little, and Cure will snipe 2 Stalkers before they can blink into safety. Robo Bay a little bit on the late stage, which I don't really know about that. But here comes a Medivac just when the Hallucinate Phoenix expires, leading into a drop alongside what is probably going to be another turret. Marines are steaming. Shield battery is out of juice, and now it's out of life as well. The other turret will be snapped down by the Zealots, which are gonna try and chase around a couple Marines as well, get a couple kills, but a big fight is happening over here on the ramp. The Stalkers will blink to the side and will get the snipe over the tank. These Immortals are tanking up so much damage, and CYAN defends perfectly against the multi-prong attack. Oh no. Ooh, these other turret range is just so nasty. 3 kills, gonna be a 4th one maybe? Not even close, says that little probe with 1 HP. Of course, it's time for the usual Zealot run-bys. You're not really trying to... Yeah, as soon as I say this, of course, he's gonna go ahead and take his bird. But yeah, I was talking about I wasn't convinced of the late stage of the Robo Bay. Robo Bay tends to become a little bit worse once ghosts become a thing, and ghosts are already a thing. Shockwave EMP right now is available to Cure, who's trying to get something happening over here with his army. Meanwhile, the Zealot Rumba is actually gaining some serious damage. 8 SCVs falling down. Cure is focused on the offense. There's one single Colossus and he doesn't really even have extended thermal lens. Here comes Shockwave upgrade, but those EMPs. We still see Marauders in the production, but we're soon to see mostly Ghosts. Yes, probably right now, let's all be honest, Ghosts are probably the strongest unit in the game. It's just such an all-purpose unit, good in every single matchup. It does so many things at once, while still being tanky enough to escape some dangerous situations. Very aggressive maneuver over here by Cure, trying to snipe down the Nexus, and he will snipe down the Nexus. One single interference matrix will stop one of the Colossi from actually getting any damage over here. The Zealot run-by will be completely cleared, and Cure finds a snipe without his opponent really being able to bite back. Losing a couple units over here as well. CYAN not really feeling up to it in this mid-game. The Stalkers are trying to dance around the Blade's edge, but this Blade out of Cure is just too sharp. And now the Terran will collect his army, drop into the main, keep his reinforcements back home. His economy is nothing to scream at, but he's killing so many units every single time. Medivacs will boost away without finding any significant damage into the main. Ready to strike. Maybe another time. Stalker will find a Widowmine, but here comes the reinforcements. And as I was saying, the ghosts are popping out. And they're getting ready to get their magic going. Single Colossus will prevent Cure from diving onto that third base out of CYAN, just like he did on the fourth one. Cure is trying to spread his army around. No, sorry, CYAN is trying to spread his army around to stay as safe as possible. But of course, it's going to be very hard to keep up with Cure in this particular stage of the game. Probably where Terran is at its strongest. As soon as these ghosts start to become the menace they are. Some drop action over here, and seems to be a cancel or a kill onto this wannabe 5th base out of CYAN. Shockwave EMP, you can see that! You can see those shields being a non-factor in these fights, especially in the hands of a skilled player such as Cure. Collects units in the Medivacs just when these Stalkers playing forward, and CYAN finds a way to deal significant damage. Cure will dive yet again upon another base and will kill another Nexus. 5 Prods will go down with it, and Cure will just steam out of harm's way yet again. CYAN is building up a strong army. He's getting some very good upgrades. He's starting to build up into a powerful late game, but anti-armor missile plus EMP combo is just nasty. You can see these Stalkers and Zealots absolutely exploding after just a couple shots. CYAN kites forwards, while Cure kites backwards. And you can see the Stalkers diving on top of one of these Zealots, but all of them are in very bad situations right now. Each and every one of them will be cleared by Cure, who's now moving forward yet again with his Medivacs. Left and right, Cure playing like a boxer, like a pugilist. And now he's going ahead for the uppercut, trying to dive on top of this Colossi though. Not really gonna cut it. CYAN trying to get his 5th base. Not really managing to defend this so far. Really be able with another move forward by Cure. These Immortals without their shields, they're a non-factor. And here Cure finds another way in, another base to snipe. CYAN trying to dance around, trying to get some kind of flank action. But these EMPs just do not forgive, even if Cure's army is running thin. CYAN's one is running thinner. Medivacs will collect everything, fly away. While Cure is sending up another wave on the top left. When behind, Dark Shrine, as always, and the Dark Templars are gonna be the last bastion for CYAN to try and stay in this game. Cure smelling the match point in the air. He's gonna move forward yet again on the top left. Is there enough for CYAN to defend over here? The Archon will never see the light of day, and this second Archon, even though he sees it, will not really be able to do much, especially with Ghost being out already. The Widowmine will finish the job. 13 probes are dying somewhere, but the Dark Templars will be able to bite back to some extent, getting 7 kills onto those SCVs. Scan forward, we'll see the positioning on the army of CYAN, and Cure will wait for the right moment to strike. +3/+3 is incoming for the Terran player, while CYAN already has +3 ground weapons. Cure expanding left and right, getting control of as much economy as possible. CYAN, again, trying to spread his army thin to cover as many things as possible, but over here Cure finds the right opportunity to strike yet again. 8 probes going down and another Nexus. This is the 4th one he falls, 5th one, I don't really even remember. Building up a concave over here wasn't really the best thing to do for Cure, but it doesn't really matter. Cure gets the game and gets to match point. Feels surprising to me that we've seen the Proxy Reaper just once in this series. Doesn't really feel surprising to not see that on Data C. Tropical Sacrifice though, it does feel like it's a decent map. Data C, it's not a big map per se, it's just complicated to navigate, tons of choke points. So I am looking around the base of Cure for something. Or is he dodging out of vision? Is he truly dodging out of vision? Oh yes, he was. Now that he gets much veil. Get a little bit of scouting information, and that's basically it. Reaper will come back home, will probably clean this probe after he got as much scouting information as possible, and for the first time in this series, we're gonna see a Stargate out of CYAN. I do love to see this, especially on Data C, but I wonder, what is he going to do with it? There's so many options to go after dropping down your Stargate, so many things to do. Of course, inherently a harder playstyle to adapt. That will drop the Shade, will not get the kill. Reaper goes back into safety. It's a Phoenix first out of the Stargate, not really what I was expecting. I was expecting to some extent to see at least 6 Phoenixes out, but I was expecting at least one single Oracle, like, especially on a map such as Data C, which is hard to traverse, and in some ways, to game map control can be significant. So I find myself a little bit surprised not seeing any Oracle at all. Cure will not really be able to get any scouting information with his Reaper, as you can see. 4 Phoenix is about to go up in the skies, and probably will try to get something going in the mineral lines of Cure. Who yet again tries to dive over here on the high ground. He needs to sacrifice his Reaper, he needs to get some vision, but I doubt he will get any. Phoenixes will stay hidden, and so will the play out of CYAN. Cure will still play a safe game, dropping down a bunker, getting up his wall. Not really a fan of Cyclones, it seems. And he's gonna go ahead and get a Raven. He's free of that. Probably never gonna shade into the wall. They were just checking. Oh, Widowmine drop finally incoming, and actually getting a little bit more than I was envisioning. 4 death probes, even with so many Phoenixes, just right next to it. Of course, now the play has been shown by CYAN. Here knows exactly what is up, knows exactly what's in the main base, and in the natural, a CYAN. Widow Mines drop, of course, as you guys well know, are not only a way to get damage, but they're also a very powerful tool to gain scouting information. And Cure, right now, is working with perfect information. You can see the missile turret being up just when they needed it, the Marines defending the production, and this Phoenix is just not finding a way to get anything significant. Even connecting missile turrets for Cure to just stay extra safe, and you can see the bunker defending over here. There's not a single way in for these Phoenixes without actually sacrificing themselves. Oh, that's a little bit too much of a sacrifice. 4 Phoenixes falling down is just a little bit too much for just a single Raven. Yes, it's good scouting, but really not worth the deal. And Cure will just say, oh, don't mind if I do. And he's just gonna move out with his full might. There's not gonna be much in the way of defense for CYAN. Of course, the clear lack of key units is also gonna make it way harder for CYAN to actually fight this with Phoenixes. Yes, they can snap the tank, but there's so many Marines. Zealots, do they have charge? Yes, they do, but they will charge to their death. There's no shield battery over here. Cure drops a scan, sees a little bit too much army, and will decide against committing over there. Tank will siege up and stop these Zealots from actually chasing it a little bit too much. The Phoenixes almost managed to get on top of it. They will get the lift on a couple Marines actually. And the Widow Mine is going to be the immediate focus after. Widow Mines are falling down without dropping shots. Oh my goodness. Oh, so close, but yet so far. Cure doesn't really find the fight that he was looking for. There's so many Zealots out there right now. It's target into mass gateways. Very interesting style that CYAN is adopting to overcome his opponent. And the SCV is gonna be lifted up in the skies. The Zealots are just charging on top of the army of Cure. That's just a little bit more than he was thinking, probably. It's not like Cure has a powerful army, but CYAN just doesn't have enough. The bunker will stay up and pose a real obstacle to CYAN Zealots. Yeah, that's will try to shade past the wall, and they will find a way in. This shade, though, it's a deadly one. These are that will get some scouting, we'll see what is up, but they will get into their death. This is a real Phoenix, by the way, acting like an hallucinated one and suiciding for no reason at all. CYAN not really working with his Phoenixes just like he wanted. I can tell you that. 9 Phoenixes going down, not exactly what he was envisioning before these Stargate started pumping up Phoenixes. Is gonna try to build up the strongest army as possible right now. That's a lot of Widow Mines. How these upgrades are looking. +1 infantry weapons, all of 3 of the Tech Lab upgrades for these racks. This is gonna be strong bio. The shield batteries are definitely gonna be the first target. It comes a little bit of warping, which is gonna be cleared even before seeing the light of day. The Zealots will try to get a little bit of a surround over here, but these units fighting in the choke point will make it so hard for the Zealots to find any surface. Cure is getting so much damage. 10 probes are going down. The army of CYAN not really able to fight back, not really able to fend against a bio army diving right into a mineral line and hiding in the choke points posed by the pylons and annexes. 23 probes falling down, a full worth of a base melting to ashes by Cure. And it's not like the army of CYAN is looking any better. Widow Mines are gonna stop this probe from getting out of there. The Zealots will dive on top of them, but there's so much army still over here by Cure, sending 4 more Widow Mines in, dropping down shots like it's no one's business. And GG will be called. Cure takes the first series of today's cup.